Hi there, I'm Ryan from Color Between. Welcome back to the channel, or if you haven't been here before, like I said, my name's Ryan. I am a DaVinci Resolve certified trainer. In today's video, we're actually going to be doing something a little bit different, bringing in a special guest, and we're going to explore some of the topics that I covered in my last video, where I was talking about how I color grade my still photography. If you haven't seen that last video, I would actually recommend watching it first. However, in that video, I did mention I don't consider myself a photographer. So I thought, why don't we actually go and get a professional photographer and get their opinion? So this video is going to be a chat with my friend Andrew. Andrew is someone that I met during my time at Sony. Andrew and I have shot a number of weddings together. He really is a great photographer. And as you'll see in this video, he brings a fantastic energy to everything that he does. But for now, that's enough of the intro. Sit back, relax, as we discuss all things photography. Andrew, how are you?
Very well, how are you?
Good to see you, mate.
You too.
Thanks
for having me on. Appreciate it.
Let's hear a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
Thank you. So my name's Andrew Scorzelli, and I've been a photographer now for the last 15 years. And it all started part-time. Mm-hmm. I had a film camera, a disposable.
Very nice.
I started to enjoy printing and getting the photos back and looking at it. And then from there, it advanced into a digital camera.
Yep.
The Konica Minolta 5D. And then it progressed from there, obviously. Then I went to the A-mount system with Sony. Mm-hmm. That was excellent. And then they came out with the E-mount, and I resisted. Yeah. I resisted for a long time.
I remember.
But eventually, it just so happened to be that, you had to eventually get it. So yeah, I was doing that for part-time because I had another job. Yeah. I was dispatching and taking triple O calls for quite a long time. So that was good.
Different day job.
Yeah. Different day job. Yeah. So doing that part-time, I was getting more work, realizing that, with my full-time job and this photography on the side, it was getting a little tricky. So I ended up leaving my job and pursuing photography all the way, all in.
Very nice.
All in.
Always the dream.
Super important to really follow that dream. Like, from what I was earning to what I'm earning now is very different, but the happiness level you cannot compare. You do have to make sacrifices, but...
And cameras are not cheap.
Cameras are, oh God. So literally, as you know, I came in and I sold my camper van in order to afford the E-mount. So yeah.
Still one of the greatest sales.
Yeah. But I have to admit, it wasn't so much that E-mount was out. Yeah. You should get it. Yeah. I waited a long time before I got it. And one of the big reasons was everything was so much lighter. A-mount was just so incredibly heavy. Carrying two cameras, anywhere between 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a day is a huge difference, no matter how long it is. Yeah. Huge difference.
Yeah,
and I never rock one camera. I've tried just to hold one camera. It doesn't work for me. I like the different angles and the different lenses. Yeah. I think all about that.
I think it's interesting that you say there about, more than one camera. I think we'll come back to that point in a little bit.
Yes.
In terms of what it is that you're shooting now, what sort of, how would you describe your style of your work?
I do almost exclusively people photography. So weddings, engagements, baptisms, birthdays, corporate events, Christmas parties, you name it. Anything to do with people, pretty much got that all covered. Yeah. In terms of the color or the look, I'm all about natural, but bold colors. So I do like good contrast. I do like a good punch. But otherwise, in terms of shooting, just a mix of candid, spontaneous, which is really in the moment, as opposed to. Sometimes people notice you taking photos. Other times they won't. So there's a very difference between candid and spontaneous. And obviously, like posing. Yes. When I'm like, hey. And a lot of the time you go into the posing, people start relaxing. So you get a bit of a balance between, spontaneous and posing. It's great.
Yeah. So like you mentioned film a little bit.
Yes.
Did you feel like when you switched to digital that you wanted to keep some of the film look? Do you feel like that changed when you were looking back at your digital photos compared to what you were doing with film? Did you feel like you lost something, or that something was different, that you wanted to keep some of that character?
Yeah. I mean, when you think of film, there is a chemical reaction that occurs, and it is so magical.
Yes.
Where digital is going, they're so good. Obviously, the cameras have gotten so good that, they just almost do a lot for you. So when you put it on the camera, when you put it on the computer, you're not going to get that film look instantly.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
And you can pretty much superbly replicate film now with a digital.
Yeah.
But there is there is something so magical about that chemical process. It's the chemical
Definitely.
process. And at one stage of photographing, of course, you're going to be like, wow, look at that photo. But I can take a shot on film and be like, oh, that doesn't look like this photo again.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the lighting, the environment, your depth of field, your speed of film of what you're using, the lens.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of things. So to try and replicate a look continuously, I mean, yeah, I think you just, that's where editing has come into such a huge field, where now you can edit to
whatever you want.
Yeah. And then some. It's so incredible what you can do now with editing. You can really change the whole look of a photo. Whereas film, you had that one look, you had that one
was it.
filter, so to speak, that was it. That's all you had.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we might speak a little bit about editing later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, something that I wanted to kind of talk to you about, and something that we actually share, which I think is really interesting, is we're both kind of like dual system shooters. So we both actually have, a love for Sony cameras.
You won't believe it.
Which is, that's how we met.
Yeah, not even on purpose.
But, we also happen to like separately have
the same system.
The same systems. We actually
different models, same system.
Yeah.
So good.
So I want to talk to you about that, but I want to start by talking about maybe the way that you would think about the difference between like a personal camera system versus a work camera system, and what you're looking for in each. Because it's not only the camera body that you're making a choice about. You're thinking about the lenses. You're thinking about the ecosystem.
Yeah.
That's definitely a strength to Sony.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask your opinions on, that pro choice and the personal choice.
Excellent question, by the way, because there's a lot in that. So, when I first started, I started shooting with Konica Minolta. So it progressed from there, from going from film into the Konica Minolta digital. And then because Sony bought them, it was just a natural progression to continue going forward. I did try Canon for a very short period of time.
We don't talk about that.
And it's not that I didn't like it. It was just that I was so used to what I was using that I didn't decide to pursue it any further. So what I have found just with shooting through Sony is that for work, it is an incredible system.
Yeah. Very reliable.
Very reliable. However, what do you like about cameras?
Yeah.
What do you want in a camera?
Yeah.
For me, a huge thing right from the very beginning was body image stabilization.
Yes.
That was the biggest thing.
Yes. Like we kind of separately came to the same second camera brand, which is interesting. I in my younger years had actually shot with Olympus cameras, but not interchangeable. They were just point and shoot cameras.
Yeah.
And they were always really good. They were always really reliable. When I was looking for a small camera to take traveling, I didn't want to take Sony camera because they're huge.
Yeah.
I wanted to take something that was smaller and cheaper, but I still wanted it to be really reliable. So I kind of came to the OM system range. It was nice to have a camera that just had different priorities. You know, the weight, the build quality. I think really well built lenses, especially in the pro range. I think those lenses are, you know, absolutely up there with G Master quality. I feel like you can throw it off a cliff and it would bounce, you know. I don't have any fear. So when I was looking for a travel camera, that was like ticking the boxes. Then the image quality was good. I was a little bit, I admit, I didn't know how I felt about 20 megapixel. I think they're up to 200 megapixels in camera sensors now, and it's just not necessary. It's more important to get, I think, a high quality sensor, and I think that's what the OM system stuff is actually doing.
The weather sealing in particular, the amount of times I've literally, I have a photo where I was shooting a little bit of landscape and a little adventurous, probably too adventurous, and my feet were already in the water, in the waves, right? So at the beach, waves are hitting me, and I was trying to get this low shot of the waves coming over with a mountain in the background, and I was trying to be cautious with the camera because obviously salt water. Anyway, it splashed. Still continued to get the shot, obviously. At that point, thankfully, there was like a public toilet at the beach. So I ran to it and just washed it under water, which, as we all know, that's what you can do with a IPX rated camera.
Salt water is a killer.
And like, we're talking like it fully just splashed over it. You got to be careful with cameras. They're, you know, all their seals, not to be too aggressive with, you know, water, dust, rain, wind, everything. Like, you know, because even wind pushing dust further in, that'll get into a lens, that'll get into a sensor, that'll get everywhere. So to have something that's so weather sealed, and the in-body image stabilization for me was just, you know, and it was nice and small. You know, I had gone from such a massive camera in the A mount range to something smaller and epic. The E mount range was out of this world. And you know, when you think back to when the A7 came out, first E mount camera,
tiny.
People lost their minds, like, what? You know, and so many people started running.
I think they have progressively gotten a lot bigger. I think especially when you look at that A1 Mark II or A9 Mark III body. It's chasing kind of like the professional game.
When you're making a top of the line camera, you're obviously not thinking, will this appeal to a novice, you know? So a novice isn't going to grab the A1 and be like, oh God, this is chunky, this is big. You know, they're going to grab something a bit more suited to their field or style. In saying that, we complain, and then they figure out how to make it smaller, better, lighter, faster. When I think back to the A mount range, the lenses were very heavy, they were very large. Come to the E mount range, especially the Mark II lenses. I keep picking up the
we don't have a prop here because there's actually 24-70 Mark IIs on these two cameras.
Those 24-70 Mark IIs
very good.
Are so unbelievably light. I remember picking up the A mount 24-70 before I sold it, and truly it felt double.
It's interesting, you know. I wanted to kind of talk about, you know, a bit of a discussion that we had yesterday. So I showed you the video and the stuff from Steve Yedlin talking about cameras as data gathering devices, and interestingly, he's very adamant that any high quality camera can, you know, produce great images, you know, and he's also of the opinion that you can really match quite well a digital camera and a film camera. Now, he's obviously a Hollywood cinematographer, so he is talking about the high-end stuff. He's talking about his Alexa that he's got, you know, that he sleeps with at night, you know, or he's talking about really high-end red cameras, or maybe he's talking about a Venice or something like that. So we kind of watched that video together, and we had a bit of a discussion about it. And I just wanted to kind of, as a photographer, as opposed to someone who deals mainly with video and deals a lot with color, just the idea of being able to take the raw data coming from any camera and turning that into the particular aesthetic.
And we have seen this time and time again on the internet where people say, guess which camera shot this? And there's always an iPhone or, you know, a Sony mobile or, you know, something. And then you'll have the APS-C and, you know, you'll have full frame, blah, 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 blah. So that's pretty much spot on in terms of if we change the way we think, cameras are data capturing devices.
Yeah.
All they're doing is capturing what they see, and it's up to us to sort out how we want that data to be perceived after that.
Yeah.
Especially when the picture of what you're looking at completely takes away from you thinking, oh, that looks a little grainy. I've never watched something and thought, oh, that looks pretty bad. Like, was that shot on an Arri Alexa 35? What? You know, like you're enjoying what you're seeing.
Right. That's right.
Of course, maybe later you're like, whether you watch it again or you think like those scenes in the dark, they were pretty grainy or whatever. But you're not thinking, God, they should have shot with an Alexa 35. Like, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
You never think that. You just think, you know, the right tool for the right job.
Yeah.
And pretty much most of the tools these days are going to capture data.
Yeah.
And then you just got to fix that.
Yeah. It's something that I always kind of felt about the Sony stuff quite a lot. I felt like their aesthetic was quite neutral. And then I think if you compare that to like Fujifilm, but people are just like chasing that aesthetic, which is popping up on Instagram. And I just had so many conversations with people and I'm like, that's possible. Like that is actually possible. You just need to put a little bit more attention into the post-production side of the photo rather than just the JPEG that spits straight out. And I guess that's the hard thing for people because people are often looking for like the sugar hit, you know, they just want like
they just want it instantly.
They just want the JPEG, you know,
and that's
boom,
why
done.
This is where people start to eventually separate from each other in terms of being, when you're on Instagram and saying to yourself, what is that photo? That looks amazing. And someone's done that. Someone's gone to change the film emulation. Because as amazing as they are, and I get that they're replicating old film stock, someone's like, that's great, but what else can I do with it? What more can I do with what we have? You know, and this is where it's incredible because now we can really take something and completely throw it on its head.
Yeah. That's probably a good point for, you know, the final topic that I want to talk to you about today, which is I just want to, you know, find out about your post-production tools. So
yes.
What software you use to edit?
Yeah, I feel like for a lot of my work, like I said, there is a particular look, and for specific clients that want a specific look, I'm all in, and I, you know, change what I need to change. And my own work, when I am shooting with the OM system range, that's a completely different look because their color profiles and the way they capture their data is different to the way Sony is going to capture an image. And that's what I love. I love it because the look is different and it makes me think differently. Yeah. You know, straight away when I look at a ORF file, straight away different. I'm like, whoa, and I love that because I've been looking at the same, you know, style for so long, and I get something different. I'm like, woo, yeah. And that's the thing. And that's the thing about having a nice, distinct difference between work and play. Yeah. Different brand, different feel. Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that you can't have both because if you want both, you know, of course, you might love the look of work and play and you want to coexist. Or you might even have the same brand but edit differently. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying about how incredible it is in this day and age where we have that at our disposal. You can take a photo with the same brand of camera but change the whole shebang. You can just go completely AWOL and
Are you scared of AI coming for your job?
no.
No.
I think where AI is going with photography so far is amazing, right? The AI in the hardware is amazing. You take a look at OM system and the amount of computational features that they have, unbelievable. Camera companies now are only starting to catch up. Where AI is going with software, I wouldn't say, our jobs are at threat, because at the end of the day, if I want professional photos, I don't want to take them. I want someone to take them for me.
Yeah.
So there's always got to be someone who has to take the photo for you.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not worried. I know many people are, and I would not be worried. Don't be worried if you're a photographer. If you're just starting out, don't be worried. What I would be worried about is becoming as good as you possibly can, right? Like, we're focusing too much on, can I get the best camera? How much is the best lens?
Yeah.
Rather than, what makes me a better photographer?
Yeah. Become a master of your craft.
Become a master of your craft. Getting the A1 is not going to make you a better photographer, but
Might.
it sure speeds things up exponentially. But it's standing out from the crowd.
Yeah.
Getting the A1 is not going to make you stand out. It'll help things drastically, absolutely, but it's not going to make you stand out. Making you stand out is going to be finding a different color profile that no one's seen before, or just a multitude of those different things all gathered into one. Like, when I think, how can I get better? I can get better at posing differently.
Yeah.
We see amazing poses out there. We see amazing different color filters and whatnot out there. How can I get better? It's not about, this camera's going to make me get that.
Excellent. All right. Well, yeah, it's been great to talk with you, Andrew.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Cheers.
Well, that was a great chat with Andrew. I hope that you enjoyed that and you were able to take away something from that discussion. Now, I'll be including links to Andrew's work, and if you wanted to get in touch with him, and if you want more DaVinci Resolve or related tutorials, subscribe here on YouTube. If you want to find out about the training sessions that I'll be running both in person and online, you can head over to colorbetween.com and you'll find all of the information and a sign up to be notified there. That's it from me today. We'll see you next time. Cheers.